Sabi si President Bongbong Marcos, I have nothing to do with the impeachment complaint of Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. On the other hand, sabi naman ni Vice President Inday Sara Duterte, sabi niya, God save the Philippines. Ito po si Nico Fabian on very beautiful, sabihin natin, thanks God it's Friday, February 7 na po. And of course, we will be touching again today regarding anong mga updates sa Pilipinas regarding ito impeachment of Sara Duterte. And of course, ano-ano mga reaction ng mga politicians natin and of course, ang mga ordinary Filipinos. So, medyo na-late tayo ngayon po dahil medyo busy tayo kaninang umaga. And of course, I was also waiting for the statement coming from no less than the Vice President of VP Sara when it comes to the impeachment complaint sa kanya po. And I suppose each and every one of you already heard, knows about this news that President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Gave a statement on this impeachment of VP Sara issue last night. And this morning, si Inday Sara din po, nagbigay na ang statement niya regarding sa issue na ito. Very hot issue po sa Pilipinas. And not only ang mga Filipinos who is closely monitoring the updates ng issue, but lahat ng mga Filipinas po, be it in the Philippines, be it in Malaysia, or those overseas Filipino workers working abroad. Everybody is really monitoring, looking of what is happening in the Philippines regarding itong issue ng impeachment of VP Sara. Okay, at this time, I would like to share with you po, I would like to share with you ang statement issued by President Bongbong Marcos yesterday. For those who haven't heard yet his statement, this is the chance for you to sabihin natin to listen ang statement ni President Bongbong Marcos regarding sa issue. Sabi niya, I have nothing to do with the impeachment complaint of VP Sara Duterte. And I noticed, she did not even say, I have nothing to do with the impeachment complaint filed against her by the Congress, or submitted the petition documents to the Senate by the Congress po, recently, or yesterday or the other day. Now, he did not mention that nothing to do with my Vice President, Vice President. Whether you like it or not, ano pa rin sila dalawa po because they are the top two executives ng Pilipinas po. And anyway, sige lang. Allow me to share with you ang statement ni Bongbong Marcos or President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos. Let's listen to this po. Let's listen to this. Hold on, let's listen to the statement of Bongbong Marcos yesterday. Alright?
Kukuha sa isang sentence lang, kaya kailangan siguro gawin na natin to. And so, anyway, so let's start a subject on the impeachment of Vice President Sara by the House of Representatives. Now, I think it is useful, siguro para maunawaan talaga natin ang mga pangyayari at bilang siguro parang paliwanag na rin doon sa mga tanong na nakikita ko sa mga commentator. Number one, maalala ninyo, nagsimula lahat ito nung I made the pronouncement, sinabi ko na ayaw ko yung sana wag na tayo mag-impeachment. Dahil maraming ibang trabaho at actually it's also not practical. Nung panahon na yun, nung una kong sinabi yun, wala pang nagpa-file ng impeachment. Kaya sana, I was hoping na makumbinsi ko lahat ng kung sino man, huwag na muna natin gawin ito. Kung meron, kung talagang, kung talagang meron kayong paniniwala na kailangan gawin ito, huwag naman siguro muna ngayon at marami pa tayong gagawin. Kaya kung titignan naman ninyo, yung mga kaalyado ko sa House of Representatives, wala sa kanila ang nag-file. Wala sa sumunod naman nila sa hiniling ko sa kanila na huwag silang mag-file ng impeachment dahil hindi magandang timing at saka marami pang problema. Ngunit, may ibang grupo, of course, the Makabayan Group out of the House of Representatives, Senator Laila de Lima, the religious group nag-file ng tatlo. And if you remember, nung statement si JPE na sinasabi niya hindi pwedeng pigilin yan dahil may grupo na ayaw. I think he was referring to Iglesia ni Cristo. So sinabi niya, hindi naman natin pwedeng pigil dahil may grupo o may tao na ayaw yan. At sinabi ko sa inyo, nung tinanong niyo sa akin, sabi ko, I agree with him. Totoo. And if you remember, my words were this: they will not, once the impeachment complaints are filed, they have no choice. The House has no choice. The Senate has no choice. Kailangan nilang i-proseso ang impeachment complaint. And that's exactly what has happened. Once the impeachment complaints were filed, the House and the Senate, they have no choice. Nakatali na ang kamay nila. They have to do this. And they have to do it in recognition of the complaints that have been filed. So, yun ang nangyari ngayon. And that's why we have come to this point where the House has transmitted already the impeachment complaint to the Senate. We have heard some of the statements made by the Senate President as to how he is planning to handle it. So we will have to see because it is many, as you've heard before, that we heard many times during the Corona trial, these impeachment trials are sui generis. And therefore, we have to be very clear how the rules are and how it will be conducted. Yun ang naalala ko because I was also in the House and I was in the Senate during the Corona trial. Kaya I have some understanding do sa mga procedure. But anyway, that's the way I see it. That's the way that happened. And now I'll open the floor to...
Okay, yun po ang statement ni President Bongbong Marcos regarding itong sabihin natin impeachment of VP Sara, impeachment na complaint versus or against VP Sara po, no? And this time I will share with you ang statement na din, ang statement ni Vice President VP Sara regarding the issue, Let's listen to Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Let's listen to this. Kanina lang ito po, umaga. No? Kaninang umaga po, and she also, just like Marcos Jr., Marcos spoke during a press conference. And today, this morning, si VP Sara also spoke to the reporters during a press conference, or she made this statement, or she made her statement during the press conference held dyan po sa Manila this morning. Let's listen to the statement of Inday Sara Duterte, or Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. You hold on.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Madayaw, mayong adlaw kaninyong tanan. Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Sa mga nakaraang araw, marami ang humingi ng reaksyon, komento, o damdamin. Damdamin ko sa issue ng impeachment na naihain laban sa akin. Sa kabila ng aking mga naging pahayag ukol sa planong impeachment sa mga nakaraan na buwan, ang tanging masasabi ko na lamang sa puntong ito ay God save the Philippines. Bukod dito, nais ko na lang ipaabot ang aking taus-pusong pasasalamat sa mga kababayan na patuloy na nagdarasal, sumusuporta, nagtitiwala, at patuloy na nagmamahal sa akin. Manalig kayo dahil sa taong bayan ang tagumpay. Syukran.
Okay, well, yun ang segment ni Inday Sara Duterte o Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. And of course, everybody knows already that the petition, a petition was already submitted. Ang mga documents pa, no? Signed by something like 215 lawmakers po out of the 300 plus lawmakers or dyan sa House of Representatives, a total of 215 signed the petition. Signed the petition. In other words, instead of only getting, trying to get 100 or one-third or 102 or 103 signatories, they managed to get, itong for the complaint, they managed to get something like, to be specific, 215 signatures from the lawmakers supporting the petition. And it was already submitted to the Congress or to the Senate, and the Senate already received the documents or the petitions. Now, karamihan po, there are a lot of people, both from one side and the other side po, the other side, ang pro-impeachment was saying, dapat lang daw po, ang Senado will immediately push with the impeachment process, impeachment process, kasi may time pa daw po, despite of we are coming in for election already, ang midterm election come May 12, and the official campaign period will be on February 11. Okay? Now, others who are against the petition, they were saying, let's wait for the decision of the Senate. Because it's only the Senate who will who can make the decision whether they will immediately start the proceedings or otherwise. But I suppose everybody also, or a lot of people also already heard, because it is already out in the mainstream media, including the social media platform, that the Senate did not take any action during the last day, before the sabihin natin, before they went for recess, yesterday, nothing happened. Nothing happened. They did not take action. Instead, sabi naman ang Senate President, now we have to look into this. We have to look into this, and most likely, the impeachment proceedings will jumpstart or will kick off sa June 2nd after the election, or when the senators will go back to the Senate after the recess. That will be on June 2nd after the election. Okay, ang dami mga comments po, and I will share with you some of the reactions of some, sabihin natin, political experts, political analysis, and even a former senior justice, also commented on itong issue, whether kailangan ba mag-start na talaga ang immediately mag-start ang impeachment procedure or hindi. Wait until after the recess or when the senators will go back on June 2nd. So, let's listen first. To Senate President, Senate President Chis Escudero, or sabihin natin ang Senator Chis Escudero regarding itong issue. Sandali. Nandito po ang statement ni Chis Escudero or Senator Escudero wherein he explained why the delay. So let's listen to Senator Chis Escudero. Hold on po, ha? I-close up natin ito po para more or less you will really have that this idea, no? Ano talaga? What happened? Okay, sandali.
Pagkakaroon ng matatag at malakas na pre-trial procedure
Hold on, ha?
para swabe na at hindi
Okay, let's listen to this. Hold on. Okay.
yang gumalaw umakto agad sa loob lamang ng ilang oras. Kung nagpa-banjing sila gawin ito, siguro wala naman silang basihan ngayon na madaling kami lalo na nasa huling araw na ng sesyon. Yan pinadala sa amin halos mag-aalas 5 pa ng hapon. So, bilang katugunan, gagampanan namin ang aming tungkulin na pwedeng magawa habang recess, kabilang na ang pag-review ng rules ng Senado sa impeachment dahil kailangan po itong i-update. Halimbawa, yung pagkakaroon at requirement ng judicial affidavits, yung pagkakaroon ng provision at procedure para mag-hearing sa harap ng commissioner, yung pagkakaroon ng matatag at malakas na pre-trial procedure para swabe na at hindi na komplikado at magulo yung trial proper. Ito ay mga bagong procedure sa rules of court na pumasok bago po namin itinalaga yung aming rules of impeachment noon na kailangan po naming baguhin. Pangalawa, kailangan pa rin pag-aralan siyempre ng Secretary General ng Senado, ng Secretary ng Senado yung impeachment complaint mismo. Tinanggap lamang namin yung kahapon. So dun sa nagsasabing, bakit hindi agad-agad binabasa ba? May trabaho po kaming kailangan gampanan. Halimbawa, sang-ayon po kasi sa e-commerce law at sa e-gov law, pwede naman maglagay ng e-signature. Di ba? Sa resolution, sa bill, sa committee report. Pwede ang e-signature dahil hindi po yan verified. Subalit, ang complaint or resolution on impeachment, verified po yan. Pinanumpahan dapat yan sa harap ng Secretary General ng Kamara. Susuriin pa po isa-isa ng Secretary ng Senado yung mga pirma kung isig ba yun o wet signature. Bawal po ang isig. Dahil kailangan pinanumpahan ito, paano ka manunumpa sa harap ng SecGen kung inutos mo lang yung opisina mong i-affix yung isig? Meron naman pong app, gagamit kami na iba't ibang app para makita at malaman kung isig nga ba siya o wet signature. Para matiyak na yung bilang talaga ay sapat dun sa 1/3 para mag-comply dun sa direct filing sa Senado. Mga halimbawa lamang ito na mga dapat pang gawin at gampanan ng Senado. At bilang panghuling sagot, para mag-convene ang impeachment court, kailangan may sesyon ang Senado.
Okay.
Para manumpa ang impeachment judges, kailangan may sesyon ang Senado. Bagaman ang trial pwede mag-proceed kahit na recess, tulad ng nangyari kay dating at yumaong Chief Justice Corona, dapat ito'y masimulan, makonvene at mapanumpa ang mga judges kapag may sesyon. So kung may mangyayari mang aksyon o kaganapan kaugnay nito, yan ay mangyayari sa June 2, pag-resume ng Senado, matapos ang eleksyon at pasyayan ng mayoriya ng Senado kung aamyendahan ba yung rules, anong ilalagay sa rules, i-authorize ba tulad ng nasa rules of court ngayon na suppletorily applicable na pwedeng mag-hearing habang recess dahil may 12 senador pa namang maiiwan natatawid hanggang 2028 pa ang termino, kabilang ako. 12 lamang naman ang matatapos ang termino. Gagawin ba yung parang sa rules of court? I'm only citing examples na i-authorize yung 12, parang hearing before a commissioner, natanggapin lamang yung ebidensya. Ito'y court of record naman kasi. Ibig sabihin, kahit na wala pa at hindi personal na narinig yung ebidensya, mababasa naman. Ngayon nga may video pa.
Okay, yon ang statement ni Senator Chis Escudero, who is presently or the incumbent Senate President. And he mentioned something about kung pwede ba the Senate will proceed with the impeachment trial during the recess period. During the recess period. And sabi naman ni Chis, pwede. And you heard what he said. But anyway, shout out muna tayo kay George Mijares, who is also watching my vlogging today. Thank you very much, George. God bless you. God bless your family. And God bless everybody. Thank you for watching. Okay, let's move on. Now, talking about itong issue, continuity sa Senate or dyan sa Senado. Kasi we have 24 senators. And one already left because he became the education cabinet minister ni Bongbong Marcos. So 23 na lang sila. And ano pa? And remaining is 23, no? 23 na lang po. So let's see. Let's see ang issue ng continuity, no? Ano masasabi ni, sabihin natin, itong former senior justice si Antonio Carpio regarding this issue. Let's listen po and let's understand, no? Ang mga puntos din ni former senior justice si attorney Justice Antonio Carpio. Let's listen to this. Hold on, saan na yun? 136. Carpio 136. Antonio Carpio 136. Nandito po. Antonio Carpio 136. Let's listen to this. Ito na ba yun? Hold on, check muna tayo kung
nangyayari.
okay, para hindi yata. 136. Sorry lang po, no? Medyo na ano tayo. Yes, let's listen to this. Saan na yun? Okay, let's listen to former Chief Justice, Senior Justice Antonio Carpio po during a recent interview po dyan sa Manila. Let's listen to this.
Baka yung momentum mapunta na kay Sara Duterte. Well, that's why sa next Congress na.
Don't file it now because you cannot act within, kasi mag-expire yung Senate eh. So there will be a new Senate. So you have to refile it. And
Start from zero.
oo, mag-start ng zero. Sasabihin ni Sara, expired na yung Senate. So they have to start all over again. It raises so many questions. So mabuti pa, tapusin na lang itong investigation. Let's get that testimony of the two military aides.
In this case, pwede mo nang matulog sa Office of the SecGen yung tatlong impeachment complaints.
Well, pwedeng matulog, but that can be revived. Kasi yung Congress will expire by June 30 of this year. All pending matters in the House of Representatives are deemed dismissed.
Yeah.
You have to refile it anew in the next Congress. So lahat yung mga unfinished business deemed terminated. So you have to refile it. So you have to refile it again eh.
Okay.
So but if you already the impeachment complaint reached already the Justice Committee, you cannot refile it within 1 year eh.
Yung 1 year ban kasi hindi pwedeng within the same year, i-impeach mo na naman. Impeachable officer, yung pinag-uusapan po namin na ban, no? So, ang position nyo, sa next Congress na.
Yes, next Congress, yung parang klaro.
Impeachment complaints.
In the meantime, you complete now your evidence.
Kasi may isa pong school of thought, others are pushing for this. Simulan na yung proseso rito, tapos yung concept nila, continuing Senate.
Yes, yun that you have to do that kasi ang theory ng continuing Senate is that the Senate does not expire unlike the House.
Dahil 12.
Kasi 12, but yung 12 cannot even elect their officers because you need 13. Dati, it was a continuing Senate because one-third lang. You elect only one-third of the Senate every election. So, definitely more than a majority remain. But ngayon, 12 eh. And 12 is not a majority.
So may tulog din yung concept.
Yes, yung concept na yun can lose in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court could say, it's not a continuing because there's no majority. They cannot even elect their officers. You need 13 to elect officers eh. And the reason for that, that's why in the Senate, every 6 years, they have to adopt all the rules. Every time, after every Senate election, the new Senate will re-adopt all the rules as if all the rules expired. Which is what the House does, no? All the rules of the House are re-adopted by the new House. Kasi patay na the old House has expired. The new House will have to adopt its own rules. Ganyan din sa Senado. So you cannot say there's continuity because if there's continuity, you don't re-adopt the rules.
So dito, ang iniisip nyo, mas maganda i-firm up yung cases.
Yes.
Okay, yun po, no? When we talk about the continuity sa Senate, so hindi pwede po, no? That is how former senior justice interpreted the law, no? Interpreted the law. Okay, I will share you other sabihin natin mga reactions ng mga ibang sabihin natin my knowledge regarding ito impeachment. This time around, I will share with you ang statement, ang comments, ang analysis ni Professor Malu Tigia. Tigia. Also a media personality sa Pilipinas. At the same time, yes, she is also using sa programa niya ang social media platform. Let's listen to Professor Malu when it comes to this issue. Hold on.
Ito, dun sa impeachment, ngayon lang ako nakakita sa kaysaysayan ng Kongreso na nagkaroon ng impeachment in one day. At ipinasa nila on the last day of session. Yun ang makikita mo talaga, politika. Kasi yung dating mga experiences natin sa impeachment, magmula sa ombudsman, sa vice president, sa chief justice, it took a while. Very transparent, accountable yung process, kahit hindi mo nagugustuhan ang impeachment court na nangyayari, bukas sa taong bayan. Pero mo itong ginawa ng House, nagpass sila ng articles of impeachment na walang nakakakita. Bakit ko nasabi yan? Yung tatlong final, the three articles of impeachment filed by and endorsed by members of Congress, in-archive nila. So ang pinasa nila ngayon is an articles of impeachment na walang nakakaalam kung anong complaint na nandun. Basta sinabi nila, invoking the Constitution at saka yung rules ng chamber, dahil naka-attain na ng mahigit na one-third. Impeach na si VP at bayaan mo na sa Senado. Yan ba'y responsableng behavior ng legislator? Wala man lang nagtanong, Your Honors, what are we charging her?
Alright, yan po ang reaction ni Professor Malu Tigia. Another lawyer who commented on the issue, on this particular issue, ang impeachment ni VP Sara Duterte is no other than a former cabinet or holding a government post in the Marcos administration, and now she's already on the other side with the Duterte camp. No? And I'm referring to Attorney Trixie Angeles. And nandito po ang reaction niya po or statement or observation regarding the impeachment po ni VP Sara. Let's listen to her. Hold on.
Talaga ako naniniwala.
Hold on. Ito ang audio or boses ni Attorney Trixie Angeles.
Trixie Angeles.
Anim yung grounds na nilagay nila na medyo katakataka. Hindi lang parang nakakapag-ano lang na pilit yung ebidensya. Imbis na ilagay nila kung ano yung basis, kung ano yung grounds, nag-allege sila ng mga actions tapos piniframe nila in such a way as it would appear to be shocking. Pero hindi na substantiate kasi hindi siya sumasakol doon sa mga grounds for impeachment. Hindi talaga ako naniniwala that this is a serious impeachment complaint. Para sa akin, very cynical. Parang sinasabi nila, kahit walang kwenta itong articles of impeachment na ito, ipapasa pa rin namin because we have the numbers. So ngayon, ang mahalaga is malaman ni DP Inday at malaman ng mga gustong ipa-impeach siya na malakas at mayroon siyang suporta. Na yung 32 billion ay hindi po nakakakalimot at nag-oobserba dito sa mga tao na may pakana nitong impeachment na ito.
Alright, yun po ang segment ni Attorney Trixie Angeles. Another one po, another one. I will share with you another political analyst who also commented on the issue. And, okay, let me share with you. Itong, sino ba ito? Political analyst commenting on the issue. Let's listen to this.
Indefinitely, it cannot.
Before playing this thing, I would like to shout out muna tayo po kay Stephanie Gipanis. Thank you for watching my program. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you wherever you are. Salamat pagi, salamat patang, and salamat malam. God bless you, Stephanie. Thank you very much for watching.
Actually, yung 10 days naman kasi na yun, hindi naman talaga siya para directly stipulated na dapat 10 araw, ano? Maaari kasi maaaring mas mabilis doon sa 10 days. Pero ang kailangan kasi dito is yung proseso ng verification, ma-establish natin yung sufficiency in form and substance. Ngayon, kung hindi siya talaga na-submit doon sa tamang proseso, indefinitely, it cannot be done in a single day. Hindi ito nagagawa sa loob ng isang araw. So maliwanag na hinabol nila ito sa last session para lamang mai-transmit sa Senado para bumulong yung impeachment complaint. So it's to me, it's done in bad faith. And certainly this is not good for democracy.
Alright, yun po ang statement, ng one of the political analysts dyan sa Pilipinas. So, yun ang issue po ngayon, Yun ang issue ngayon dyan sa Pilipinas, ang impeachment ni Inday Sara Duterte. We already heard ang statement ni President Bongbong Marcos. He has nothing to do with the impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte. Sabi naman ni Inday Sara Duterte, God bless the Philippines. Ready na ang lawyers team niya, to be present or participate in the impeachment trial po in the event that will push through sa June 2nd mag-start. And mga lawyers niya are now preparing, and in fact they are ready for the worst. The group of Inday Sara Duterte are ready for the worst. And sabi nga ni Inday Sara Duterte during the press conference this morning na she is very touched and happy that a lot of lawyers, no? Lawyers are coming out and offering their services to defend si VP Sara sa impeachment trial, sa impeachment trial. And of course, we don't know whether ano ba ito. Ang Senado will find sabihin natin guilty si Sara Duterte or hindi, no? Let's wait and see na lang po, no? After the election. Now, mayroon din mga haka-haka, speculations, and even allegations, no? And even allegations. Just a caution po, no? There are some allegations. Allegations, it means hindi ito confirmed, no? Hindi ito confirmed na money is involved pagdating na dyan sa signatories, no? Sa signature supporting the impeachment of Sara Duterte during the caucus dyan sa Kamara yesterday. No proof, no evidence, nothing but haka-haka, speculations, mayroon mga this kind of a story. And some people were saying, okay, since now you already signed, so-called signed, in support to the impeachment of Sara Duterte, this candidate is seeking for re-election. The voters will now give the verdict during the May 12th election. Ano ba yun? Did they took the risk? Did they took the risk or what? And some senators, some lawmakers, they said that they are also aware of the consequences and they are going to dance with the music. But what is important, sabi nila, those mga pro-impeachment lawmakers, they were saying, it is our job. It is our job. Being an elected official as a congressman, this is our job, responsibility to make sure that all top officials or elected government officials will do their responsibilities as expected by the public. Honesty is there and no hanky-panky, no corruption, no nothing. Yon po ang mga statements ng mga lawmakers po. Totoo ba yan? Totoo ba yan? Clean na clean din sila po? I don't know. These are the things that we heard left and right po, no? When this issue of impeachment was sabihin natin lumabas pa sa local media po, and it all started dyan sa mga hearing ng Congress po, no? Ang corruption cases, how VP Sara spent the confidential fund, of which COA hindi pa natapos ang investigation, no? So yun po, this is the situation ngayon sa Pilipinas, and let's see what will happen. Recess na po, and of course lawmakers, ang Congress natin, they declared recess na sila po yesterday. Likewise, ang Senado po also declared na recess na sila, and they are only coming back on June 10 after the May 12 election. After the May 12 election. To all the voters, siguro it's about proper for me and logic for me to just remind all of us, mga voters, vote wisely. Vote according to our conscience. For those seeking for re-election, mga re-electionists, let's go back to the performance. Let's go back to the performance 3 years ago. Let's see what happened to them. Did they got rich? Did they perform properly? Or what? And then from there, please attend. Lend your ears to these candidates, be it neophyte, be it re-electionists. Let us lend our ears to them so that we will be able to know what kind of a candidate he or she is. And then from there, let's make our decision. Let our conscience talk. Vote wisely po. So, hanggang dito na lang si Nico Fabian for this February 7, Good Friday, Friday edition. And I hope, maski paano, I managed to give you the news or information that you deserve. With this, I would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines. God bless us all the Filipinos and all my viewers and all my friends, be it what kind of nationalities. I would like to say, enjoy your weekend. God bless us all and see you tomorrow. Bye.